I just had what could have potentially been the most diabolical and enraged political discussion I would have had all year. But thankfully, this lady got a driver who is able to control his tone of voice. So she's telling me about I guess she says is the director of the LGBT center in DC, mentioned she had, I think, 6 centers around the area, and said that she contracted COVID-19, and because she is HIV positive, obese, and also diabetic, this is all according to the passenger. I'm not stating these as facts because I have no idea personally. But because of all these issues, they were sure she was probably going to die after getting COVID-19. But it turned out, thankfully, that she was okay. And she was telling me about how she maintains a shelter for transgender people in the area. And I sympathetically mentioned, yeah, that's a very difficult situation to be in. To be also homeless and also transgender, not easy. And then she said in response to that, correctly, that everybody's saying Black Lives Matter, but you know, transgender lives matter also. And I told her, absolutely, absolutely. Everybody comes with special baggage. Everybody has their own unique background. And you don't know what that person's gone through, whether they were advantaged or disadvantaged, or in what ways, unless you get to know the person. And she immediately said, I agree, but you know, a lot of people around here would say that if you said this, that you're racist. And I told her, I don't care. I look white. They think I'm racist anyway, which is true. Intrinsically racist, according to the woke narrative. I didn't add all that stuff, but I did tell her that I don't care because such people will probably think I'm racist anyway, since I look white. And then I told her they wouldn't know, just because I'm white, that I'm also Jewish and gay. And according to the FBI, you can look it up on their website, proportionate to their population numbers relative to the general population, the Jewish people in the United States, which is, seriously, the U.S. is one of the least anti-Semitic countries on earth. And even here, Jews suffer more recorded hate crimes, confirmed hate crimes, than African Americans or transgender people. And she then said, yeah, thank goodness Trump didn't win because he hates gays and Jews. And I mean, I wouldn't have, and I didn't, go off on how ridiculous that claim is. I could have said, quite odd considering he made some of the first appointments of openly gay individuals in his cabinet and is the first president to have supported gay rights before coming into office. Yes, even Obama opposed gay marriage before it became popular. Not to mention Joe Biden. But I didn't say all those things. I didn't mention the fact that half of President Trump's family is Jewish. Possibly most of his grandchildren are Jewish. Of course, that wouldn't make him immune to anti-Semitism, but it would make it a little more odd sounding, and you may want to, you know, put a little more thought and credibility into the claim before making it. But anyway, I didn't say those things. However, I couldn't agree with her, so I just said, you really think so? And I wanted to hear what she would say. And just by merely doubting that assertion of hers, just the mere doubt that I'm not automatically convinced that Trump hates me as a gay person. I guess he hates his daughter, Ivanka, and all his grandchildren as well. But my mere uncertainty in that regard made her leap to the conclusion, "You must be a Trump supporter." Her tone immediately went into attack mode. Thank goodness, I mean, it's ridiculous and pathetic that this is the case, but thank goodness I have my gay card and Jewish card, my minority protected group card, because if I didn't have that, no telling how she would have reacted. I mean, what undervalued, despicable opinion just a regular white person could possibly have, you know? But she was rude enough, even dealing my protection cards. But she went on attack. She's like, "You must be a Trump supporter." And I tried to defuse her by saying, you know, there are things that he's done that I don't agree with. But some things he's done I don't think are that bad. And I'm not so convinced that he hates gays and Jews. But I hear you if that's what you think. And she said, "You better believe all the media reports about him." And she was like, she emphatically emphasized, all the media reports about how bad he is are true. You better believe it. And I responded, I know a lot of people, especially in the media, say bad things about Trump, but it's just, you know, it's kind of hard for me to blindly believe whatever they say about him when their bias against him has been so all encompassing. Like, all they see is bad, never anything good. But even more so because I lived as an immigrant for 15 years in the Middle East and was in immediate proximity to multiple terrorist attacks. By immediate proximity, I don't mean that I was in it, but I was adjacent enough multiple times that I heard either explosions or in some of the mass shootings of children at a child's school. In this one particular incident, I was close enough to hear the shots being fired as they murdered children. And I told her, by seeing all of the blatant propaganda and overt falsehoods in reporting in the mainstream media regarding all these things in all my years living there, granted, some of the things they said were true, but upwards of 90% of what I had heard, and continues to be the case, in the mainstream media, I know, having lived there, is a distortion and an inexcusable misrepresentation of what happened there. And she said, well, you just need to listen to the right sources. Because Trump hates Latinos. And I was like, why do you think he hates Latinos? And he said, because he's deported more Latinos than any of the other presidents. That's why I voted for Biden. Biden loves Latinos. Because, you know, as Biden says, Latinos are a very diverse group, not like the African Americans. Quotes from Joe Biden. Anyway, I didn't tell her that, but she, of course, that was going through my head, but she was like, well, Trump hates Latinos. Why do you think Trump hates Latinos? Because he's had more deported than any other president. I mean, I could have asked her, is he deporting legal immigrants or is he deporting Latinos who are here illegally? Or perhaps they were here legally but not a citizen and they committed some violent crimes and maybe we shouldn't be keeping them here. Didn't say those things. And last I checked, the laws, the immigration laws against illegal immigrants in the United States, it doesn't only apply to Latinos. It applies to people of any ethnicity. I don't care if they're white, black, or a KKK, white supremacist, or the most patriotic, pale-skinned Scandinavian waving an American flag. If he disregards U.S. security laws, just marches in here and wants to be able to vote without becoming a citizen, wants to defund the police, wants to demand free Medicare and insurance for anybody who marches in here demanding it, I'm not bothered in the least if they're deported. But I didn't mention those things. I just listened to her. Trump hates Latinos. He hates immigrants, even though he's married to an immigrant. Okay, if you say so, if you don't make any distinction, if you think that all Latinos are immigrants, sounds kind of racist, sort of a stereotype there. Let's not mention the fact that more than 100 different nationalities enter into the United States from the southern border. They're not all Latino. No. But all this aside, as I let her out, thankfully, let her out soon, like quite soon after she started her emotional roller coaster. Let her out, and I told her Happy Thanksgiving. She's like, She just closed the door. So of course she's probably going to give me a bad score, possibly even report me to Uber. We'll see. Goodness. But yeah, it's a reason I need to get a video camera in here, because that would have been quite an entertaining show. But it was telling when I told her. Oh, I also offered her, as I carry, I offered her sanitizer as she got out, if she wanted to sanitize her hands. And I had offered to roll down the windows for her, which she didn't ask for. I offered and did. So, and of course I have my mask, you know. Woo-hoo. But I guess all that wasn't enough. I'm an evil, white supremacist, homophobic, gay, anti-Semitic, Jewish person, immigrant hating, 15 years spent as an immigrant, and still an immigrant because I am still a dual citizen. But alas, it is what it is. As I told her at the beginning, if you're white, and especially if you're white and you don't buy into the propaganda of the media and happen to think for yourself, it doesn't matter even if you're not white. You could be black, gay, transgender, little person, and an immigrant, but you think different from how they demand that you think, and somehow you're a white supremacist. So when they tell me I'm a racist, yes, it's absurd. Obviously, it's not true. But I just tell myself, you would have thought that anyway. Well, one, because I'm white. But you saying it to me, even as a minority, is just telling me that I'm not a sheep. Thank you. And thank God for America. This is not the land of sheep. Let's not let it be. Yalla bye.